Since I just covered a rather bad review on It's a SpongeBob Christmas, I figured why not continue that trend for a little bit? So let's cover Blaze the Movie Fans, because although it's not terrible by any stretch of the imagination, it does have more than a couple of issues. To start out with, let's talk about the properties of forks and wheels.
And then a fork damages the wheel for some reason. How the hell does that work? Something as small as a fucking fork should be able to crash a fucking car. Some people might say that this is a nitpick, but not to me it's not. Since it's so fucking stupid. A fork should be able to do nothing towards a wheel. Or what should fucking happen is that a car just drives over the fucking fork and you will proceed driving. I mean, seriously, what the hell?
Okay, I looked into this along with my friend Hester, and although we weren't able to find anything on specifically what would happen if the situation in this episode occurred, we were able to find multiple pictures of forks piercing wheels across the internet. And, well, to quote Hester, the simplest explanation is that this can happen rather than multiple people faked an odd thing.
And then Patrick wants to trap Santa Claus. I have to ask why? Why the hell does he want to do it? It makes no sense to me.
So Santa will freeze time and Christmas will occur all year long. This is something Patrick directly says in the scene you're showing a picture of.
I will trap Santa in my box, locked up like Fort Knox, and make him stop the clocks. And we'll have Christmas all year long.
Now Plankton is sick and tired of getting coal every Christmas, so he makes a fruit cake that has the magic abilities to turn everyone into airsols. I'm sorry, Plankton, I don't think that plan is going to work. I don't think Santa is going to punish those who are airsols if they are under a fucking spell. I'm sure Santa is smart enough to know the difference between people who are genuinely nice and those who are affected by a fucking spell that makes them airsols. Because he would know it's not their fault in that case.
But it does, though! Santa specifically says the entirety of the Bikini Bottom is naughty based off of what they did while under the influence of the Jerktonium later in this episode.
Whoa, cool your jets there, son. I'm afraid I'm the bearer of bad tidings.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. It seems you're all on my naughty list this year.
Naughty list?
No buts about it. You've all been a bunch of jerks.
I should note that Blaze does actually address this scene later in the video, and his criticism of it also has some problems.
And then Santa Claus comes to town and says he is disappointed that everyone has been naughty. Come on, are you really willing to tell me that Santa can't tell the difference between people who are legitimately being naughty and those who are nice and are just affected by a fucking curse? This is so out of character for Santa Claus. He should fucking know better. How the hell can't he tell the difference?
I want to zero in on Blaze's description of Santa Claus as out of character because, well, what established character does Santa Claus have in the SpongeBob universe? The only other time Santa appeared in the series before this episode was back in Season 2 during Christmas Who. And even then, those two Santas have very little resemblance to each other, with the one in that episode being live action and played by Mike Bell, while the one in this episode is stop motion and voiced by John Goodman, meaning it can even be assumed they're different characters within the universe of SpongeBob. Basically, it's incredibly strange you call this Santa out of character when we don't really have anything to compare his actions in this episode to.
And then we get to learn that the reason why the effects don't work on SpongeBob is because he is immune to them, since he is incorruptible. Okay, I'm gonna have to be honest. I don't like that aspect of the episode at all. In fact, it's contrived as hell. I mean, sure, being happy is a big part of his personality, I'm not gonna deny that. But there have been times, both in the old and the newer episodes of SpongeBob, when he has been angry, sad, and even greedy. It has totally happened, so it's not like he can't be corrupted because he can. In fact, he has in many episodes of SpongeBob.
Can you please give me some examples to back up your claim? I'm not even saying you're wrong, I just want some evidence. And this isn't even getting into the fact that it wasn't his good nature which shielded him from Jerktonium, but his love of the holiday specifically.
It seems that SpongeBob's innocent love of the holiday shields his heart from the effects of Jerktonium.
Not tickled.
Meaning the only thing that could contradict this would be him showing a lack of love to the holiday previously, not just him being greedy or mean in previous episodes.
And then Plankton creates a robotic SpongeBob who is evil in order to frame SpongeBob. But since that robot is grey and doesn't at all look like SpongeBob, nobody should fall for that.
I'm sorry, how exactly does this robot, outside of the color difference, look nothing like SpongeBob? And why are the differences big enough to where the Bikini Bottom citizens should be able to figure out that it's not SpongeBob, it's instead this robot? Remember, we actually have precedent on how easily people and robots are confused for each other in this universe. Specifically the Season 2 episode Imitation Crabs, where Plankton disguises himself as a robotic Mr. Krabs in order to get the Krabby Patty secret formula, and SpongeBob buys that Plankton is Mr. Krabs for the entire episode. Or how about the episode Crabborg, where SpongeBob and Squidward confuse Mr. Krabs with a robot version of himself and tie him up and interrogate him, trying to figure out what happened to the real Mr. Krabs. The point is, the people of Bikini Bottom are not exactly known for their ability to distinguish robots from non-robots.
I can't believe we survived that horrifying car accident without a scratch.
Pointing out the problems with the logic of the show doesn't make them go away. Besides, it's not that unbelievable. Cartoon characters survive the most ridiculous situations all the time. So it's normal.
Yeah, this is a point I just don't get. Blaze says that pointing out the flaw in the logic doesn't make it go away, implying there is a logical flaw in the episode, only to say that there's also no issue with the episode's logic. So what was it even pointing out exactly?
Patchy is so hungry that he imagines his parrot as food and tries to fucking eat him. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that is disturbing. And then the parrot does the same thing, which is equally as disturbing.
You know that parrot's named Potty, right? It's just weird to refer to Patchy by his name, but give Potty simply the label of the parrot.
And then SpongeBob visits Squidward, which is a grumpy asshole. And that makes him different from how he usually is. How? I mean, seriously, I don't see how that fruitcake affected Squidward at all. That he's always a grumpy asshole. So the fruitcake not affecting him would actually make a lot more sense than the fruitcake not affecting SpongeBob.
Okay, I think Blaze is under the impression that Squidward ate the fruitcake, but that's never stated in the episode. In fact, during the Don't Be a Jerk musical number at the end, we even see it not affect Squidward at all.
The cure for the effect is apparently some fucking song? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is downright fucking stupid. Why the hell would words fucking cure this? It would make a lot more sense if the antidote was a fucking item.
Why exactly? What difference does it really make, Blaze? Why does it matter if the antidote is a song as opposed to an item? Fuck, given it's a well-known fact that music greatly affects our emotions, this isn't even particularly unrealistic.
And he even has the balls to say that Plankton is the only one who isn't naughty. Hold on a minute, are you really willing to tell me that he didn't fucking see Plankton doing that evil scheme? Yeah, this Santa Claus is a dumbass, and not at all like Santa is supposed to be.
How was he supposed to see Plankton get an element and make fruitcake inside what I assume is his own home? Santa isn't O'Brien from 1984 in this universe. It's not as if he bugged the chum bucket just to make sure Plankton wouldn't do anything bad. All the things the Bikini Bottomites have done to each other, we assume were public, meaning it's much more likely an average person would notice it as opposed to, again, Plankton cooking fruitcake with an element in it in his own house.
And then Santa gives Plankton the secret formula. Okay, it's one thing to give someone what they want, but not realizing when you give someone something fucking dangerous. Yeah, this Santa is a fraud.
What exactly is dangerous about Plankton getting the Krabby Patty secret formula? Don't get me wrong, he's the antagonist. We as an audience should not want him to. However, it's not going to put anyone into any kind of harm if he does.
Anyway, Patsy the Pirate finds Santa's workshop. And he has hallucinations. How the hell does that work? Last time I checked, you get that when you're in a desert. You don't get that to the North fucking Pole. Or any icy place at all for that matter. So this makes no damn sense.
What? No, you can get hallucinations for a lot of reasons that have nothing to do with being in the desert, including mental illness, irritation of the visual cortex, delirium, seizures, migraines, sleep problems, metabolism problems, or taking drugs that cause you to hallucinate. And yes, we do have reports of people hallucinating because they're in frozen areas like the Arctic for long periods of time. Anyway, final thoughts. Again, this review was not terrible by any means, although it had a number of problems that stopped me from calling it good. Good night and good luck.